What's going on, everybody? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Thursdays. Hope you guys just keep on coming in. And we're excited today. Got my boy Joel Arteaga here. How's it going, everybody? I know many of you guys have seen this familiar face. He's back in town for a little bit. So it's been good. So I was like, hey, why not bring Joel on some on this Thursday and hear some of his thoughts? You know what I'm saying?
He trapped me. He lured me in.
I lured him in. He's here. So, but Joel, how's it been since being back in Worcester?
Well, actually, just pulled into Worcester yesterday. As you know, and many other people know, Evan and I got an apartment right down the street from Clark.
Okay.
And so, yeah, yesterday was the first time I finally got to see the apartment. I know even Ida got to go in there before I was there, moving some furniture in. And I was just waiting to see the apartment in person. So yesterday, Evan and I got to move some stuff in. But just being back in Worcester, I remember I just drove by Clark and it was like, wow, here's Clark to my left and the Basconis' house is to my right. It just, that feeling of nostalgia and just, putting myself back into the shoes I'm so used to from freshman and sophomore year. It felt so good. It was refreshing to be back in Worcester,
right.
Because it has been so long. But it was nice. I haven't even gotten to connect with too many people yet from Worcester, but just being in the area, being in the apartment, it really felt nice and refreshing. And I guess to describe the feeling, I have an overall excitement and
come on,
looking forward to seeing what God can do. I know we're still virtual right now, but praying, looking forward to the time we can all meet together. And I hope to see a lot of you guys soon. And once again, thank you for everyone who's been keeping an eye out for Evan and I, offering some furniture. I know John Finn offered me a huge dresser.
Come on.
Not sure if it'll fit in my room, but yeah, it's been great being back in Worcester. So.
That's what's up, man. I mean, it's definitely good to see you, and I'm glad that you're back right now. And so even thinking about that idea of, when we left for the last time I saw you was like the beginning of COVID. Like you were kind of having to pack up your stuff like immediately, like and you weren't sure no one knew what the plan was going to be. And here we are about 4 months later. So like you're wearing a Clark basketball shirt right now. How's it been just being at home? Because like I'm guessing if you would have been doing some trainings with Clark here and stuff, but how's it been like with basketball or training, like not being back here at Clark?
For sure. Well, thankfully we got to finish our season before COVID hit. So like around March, that's when we all got sent home. I think like March 15th. And at the time I was like looking forward to working out with the team at school. I was excited just to see how I can progress, become more athletic or stronger. Right. And I was like really pumped up because I was going to have that accountability. Our coaches were there, our team was there, captains were calling us higher. And then we all got sent home. And so it was definitely different. I want to say the first month I was really struggling to sort of adjust from a basketball standpoint. I was trying to figure out ways I could stay in shape. Staying in shape was never something I had to like work on.
Right.
During the basketball year. It was just like every day I would go to the gym and be forced to run sprints up and down the court. So going back home, it was like your question was how have I been adjusting to that?
Yeah.
And it's been tough, but I finally have gotten into like a cool routine where I go down to my basement. I had this old raggedy like bench press, and so I have some weights and stuff. And then I've been working on that pretty consistently. I've been running around the neighborhood.
Right.
But it has been hard as far as playing basketball itself. I have a basketball hoop in the backyard, but like my driveway isn't flat, and so it's been tough.
Right.
I've definitely had to put a lot of effort into finding new ways and avenues to stay in shape.
Right.
So
yeah, it kind of reminds me of 2 Timothy 4, where it says, "Be prepared in season and out of season." Like even like right now would be considered out of season. Especially for a lot of us during the pandemic, we feel like we're out of season. And I'm not a school athlete, but I feel it's easy to put that COVID 15 on. You know what I'm saying? Like it's really easy to kind of you just see food and food just looks delicious in your house. I mean, I want to bite, but I feel you on that, man. One thing that me and Derek have been doing is just to kind of stay active is just go on bike rides in the city. So we got a chance to go out to Wachusett Reservoir last week. We went to Blackstone bike path last week as well. And it's cool because like we're trying to learn the city, but it's also helping us to stay kind of in that like mindset of working hard and staying active and getting things done.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's real, like you kind of had to find some like new ways to really challenge yourself and to compete right now. Because I feel like during the season, I'm sure it's easy for people to feel like they're not really in the fight or they're not in the competition or they're not in training. And we're going to look at a quick verse just about competition to encourage us. This is in 1 Corinthians 9, verse 24. And it reads, "Do you not know that in a race, all the runners run, but only one gets the prize? Run in such a way as to get the prize. Everyone who competes in the games goes into strict training. They do it to get a crown that will not last, but we do it to get a crown that will last forever. Therefore, I do not run like someone running aimlessly. I do not fight like a boxer beating the air. No, I strike a blow to my body and make it my slave, that after I have preached to others, I myself will not be disqualified for the prize." It's a powerful verse right here. But even as you think about this, Joe, I think about like, it talks about we're not fighting like a boxer beating the air, but we go under strict training as disciples. And sometimes you're in those environments where you feel like you can be in strict training. But once again, I feel like during this time, we're still called to be in strict training, but it's not the same. It's a little different, especially being back at home, or for a extended period of time. What are some things you've been doing to kind of like stay, let's say, like in that same spiritual competitive mindset,
Yeah. No, for sure. I know, I think of the scripture in Philippians 2, when Paul's saying that we ought to continue to work out our salvation in fear and trembling.
Right.
And I think that's a similar concept, that we ought to continue to go into this strict training and fight and competitive. I'm a competitive guy. I can really go after it in the gym or in liar's dice or
let's go.
We had a Jeopardy for our Bible study class yesterday as a campus ministry.
Some competitive in there.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So Eden knows I can get a little competitive. Eden himself can get a little competitive too, but it's been cool, like connecting with Ida, connecting with other guys in the campus ministry, brothers and sisters, and in our campus ministry here in Worcester. We've been able to keep this fire going spiritually, even though we're not physically together, and that's been super encouraging. And I know on a personal level, over quarantine, since going back home in March, I've really had to fight and work out my salvation with fear and trembling. And I know you've been a great help to me, looking at my heart, looking at my character, calling me higher in certain areas. But God has provided a time for me the past 4 months, I think, 4 or 5 months, to be still and to really take a step back and take the time I need to work out my salvation and to grow in my character in different ways and to grow in my dedication to God and my relationship with Him. I know something I've been doing recently, even with the runs that I was talking about that I'm physically trying to stay up to date with. Midway through my run, I would stop at the park nearby my house and just take some time to sit and be still with God.
Come on. That's good.
And so I've been going after creating space with God, because I know that's huge for me, being able to create space for God to allow Him to come in and for me to hear his soft voice. I think I can overlook that voice sometimes during school, basketball, just everything going on during the year. So for me during quarantine, I've been trying to, in a competitive sense, I've been trying to take a step back and really hear and lean into God and see what it is He's calling me to grow in.
Right.
I know it's been a battle, and I can feel that competitiveness within the spiritual warfare that I feel going on in my heart. And so something I've been going after is just prayer and meditation, praying that my heart can desire God rather than evil, rather than Satan's whatever he's deceiving me with. And so I've been going after that. You know, God, please help me desire you and hate what is evil, hate all sin and unrighteousness. And so, yeah, it's been tough. There's been times where I've been alone, and it's like, I want to be loved. I want to be with the body of believers. I want to be with my basketball team or whoever. But it's been those times where I've needed God the most.
For sure.
And I've seen that I need God the most.
For sure. That's real.
But yeah, I can go on and on because this quarantine it's been long, and there's been countless days where God's been showing me this thing or from this direction. And there's just so many different insights and to all the things I've been able to grow in since everything happened. Right.
And that's great stuff right there. That's encouraging. Even as I'm thinking, I love that what you shared kind of reminds me of what it says in this verse. It says, therefore I don't run like someone running aimlessly. You know, like how, like, you know, the idea of working out your salvation and with fear, it's like, okay, like striving to not run aimlessly. Because, you know, I think there's been times in this quarantine where I'm like, what's going on? Like, what am I doing? I think we had spent some time just kind of praying for what was, you know, a COVID or quarantine campus ministry going to look like. You know, what's a COVID or a quarantine church going to look like? And having to pray a lot. And for a second, you almost feel like, man, like what's the aim in all this? You know, what's the goal in all this? And, you know, I think it tells us right here in the verse, right? It says they do it to get a crown. So they do it to get a crown that will not last, but we do it to get a crown that will last forever. That our goal is to be with God forever, to make it to heaven, and to have everybody to come with us. And there's no pain with no gain, right? You know, like, and so I think there's a part of competition, you know, that I think that we love and we desire. It's like, you know, I love, you know, after I finish with competition, the feeling that it gives me, you know, or even sometimes just that adrenaline rush. And we just want to encourage you guys today, however you're feeling, whatever you maybe been down or out or lonely, or maybe feel like you're out of the fight, to say, you know, the fight's not over, get back up and get back in that boxing match, you know, spiritually, you know, picking up your Bible, spending some time to connect with God. And our hope is that this time as a church and as people of God, that we wouldn't run aimlessly, but we would have our focus on Jesus as we're running. So, bro, I want to thank you for coming on and sharing, man. This is short, but I think it was awesome. I'm sure you guys are feeling that same way right now. Man, how about to start coming here every single week for Thursdays? They're gonna be like, yo, where's Joel at next week? So, but anyways, thank you guys for joining in for Thursday. We're hoping to see you guys next week.
Hey, guys.